What's up, everybody? I'm Jason, this is the Freebird Garage, and we are putting together the 883 to 1275 hammer kit assembly. All right, so we've been doing a lot of work on the outside of the motor. It's time to start digging in and getting this thing put back together. All right, let's get it done. I've been diligently trying to get this motor cleaned up, and it has been a nightmare. I have tried every type of buffing, cleaning, chemical wiping material, and probably a metal mesh, whatever you want to call it, to get this motor cleaned up. And I can see why people just paint these, because the porous casting of this aluminum is such a pain in the ass in order to get this thing cleaned up. I do not recommend. I wouldn't do this again in 100,000 years. This thing is such a pain in the ass to get cleaned up. It is a tedious process trying to get this cast aluminum back to a shine. Now you could just use like a chemical, like an acid wash, and kind of just get all the dirt and grime away. That's throwing another video and all that. But what I've been doing is just grinding away and getting this thing best possibly shined up to a chrome finish, which isn't even really close to that, but it's better than what I had before. All right, so I'll show you guys a little bit closer here in a moment. What we're gonna work on is the chest cam area. I have the new ones here by Hammer. This is their, I believe it is their own cut and everything to it. You can't really mimic these as far as I've been told. They are massive, so there's an old one there. Let me see if I can get you a match up of our original. So there's our old lift right there. And then there's our new lift. Massive difference that we're gonna be installing. So huge lift that we got going on here for the cams. So I'm stoked to see what that's gonna be like when we get those installed there. But we're gonna open up this chest cam, kind of start getting this thing prepped and ready to get these installed. So we're gonna work on that area first, and we'll get to the other areas once we get to rolling through here. All right, so let's pull off the tape. Hopefully we didn't get too bad with the polishing clean that got in there. I taped everything off. Let's see what it looks like. All right, so this is what I've been talking about, getting all this cleaned up. There's still some areas that I could probably go even deeper, but it's kind of a never-ending process of how deep you wanna go. Because once you remove the porous areas, you really get more into that polish shine. But anyways, let's tear this apart. Let's see where we are at. Hopefully nothing too bad. Stuffed everything away. Tape it off really good, and we should hopefully be okay to start getting this thing put back together here. All right. Things blocked off really nice still. Some oil cleaned up here. All right, so what we're gonna do first is get the locking nut on. We're gonna use this locking tool that Hammer Performance gives us in the kit. Make sure we are square on there. All right, nice and tight there. And we're going to put a liberal amount per the manual on these threads of Loctite here. Per the manual, it says the lock nut should be at 35 to 40 foot-pounds, but by Hammer, they want you up to 75 to 80 foot-pounds. More horsepower, bigger cylinders, all that good stuff. So that's what we're gonna do, followed by Hammer's go-to here. There we go, that's 70 right there, and we'll hit it with the 80 now. There, all right. Set there, 80 foot-pounds, torque down. All right, we are good to remove tension plate down. All right, so here's the original 883 cams that I have on here, right? So 95 is the only year that they put the D mark on each of these cams, if that matters at all. But you have numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 for each of the components of what exactly is going to work on the motor. So this is how it would be lined up inside of the motor. Normally they'd be color coded, so this one still has a little bit of the green on there. I don't know what they are offhand for the other ones, but if we were to go off of each one, this would be for the rear exhaust, the rear intake, front intake, and front exhaust going into it. So if you want to know what your cam does, I guess there you go. There's a little more insight to individually. Now, what we need to make sure that we do is get these timing marks correct on the camshaft and then the rest of the cams going together. So I'm gonna lube these up with some assembly lube, make sure we're good to go there, and then we're gonna start sliding these in. All right, let's get this nice gobbed up here. A little assembly lube in here. All right, it's real hard to see, but there's a marking right there for the timing. And then we got 3 markings for the main rear intake here. And make sure we got the right ones. That one right there is facing down. The other 2, one right here, one right here. So I'm gonna try and get this lined up accordingly. Did we hit it? Yep. So we have our marking there, our dot right there, okay? So we are good to go. And to make sure we're on track, Hammer does mark the back of their cams. It's hard to see right there. The number of which spot needs to go. So this is number 3. It's gotta go right there. Let's see, 4 will go right there. 1 right here. So gob this up here. And then we're gonna pay attention to our dots. All right, so I got ahead of myself. With the massive lobes we have on these cams, we need to grind away the lifter bosses here. So we're gonna grind away about 1/20th of an inch there up so that the cam lobe can clear it. So to show you here, we have our stock one going up and spins freely. Barely, just some clearance there. And then the new one just hits it. So we're gonna clear that, and that will allow us to have the clearance to get this taken care of. So we gotta tape off. And then we got these valleys that go straight to the back. And these, I'm gonna see if we can just stuff some rags into here. Just got 2 spots. All right, so this should be pretty interesting. That is how much we need to remove. Just that little bit. See if I can kind of mark this here. Just essentially the size of my marker. What I'm gonna do, got it here and then back here. Okay, get our die grinder ready. All right, now I got this on a stand. This makes it 10 times easier. Being inside of a motor, you say you can do it, but that would be, I guess, up to how close you can get there and how comfortable you are. So there's really no going back once we start to remove some of this. You know what, before I get carried away. Alrighty, don't try this at home. Did a dumb mistake by not covering up my camshaft gear here. We don't want to nick anything, so clean this up. There we go. Using die grinder has a tendency to make your hands bounce around. As you can see, that's already the tape protecting that side. Let's get it over with. See if that is enough clearance. Should be, hopefully. We'll go back through and kind of clean these up a bit. So we'll remove this. So we'll blow this off here. All right, let's see if we have some clearance. Good over there, but we still are hitting on the back side there. Okay, so we'll have to clean up the last one. Put all these in to see which ones hit. We have number 1 here. Yep, still hits just on the left-hand side in the back. Let's clear that up there. Number 2, see if we get this one. Nope. So we're good in the back there, but we're gonna have to clear up the front there. Yep, front's gotta be clear up some more. Just a hair off over there in the back. So, yep, we gotta do some more cleaning up here. All right. Try this. Let's see if we made clearance here. And we did. Beautiful. All right, not for the faint of heart. Grind away at your casing. Little sketchy. I wasn't kind of expecting that. Should have read through instructions before we dove into this. Thought I was going to essentially get these cams set up, get everything mocked up, and start putting this thing together. Didn't realize we have to knock down these boss casings and be able to get these cams into it. Not a big deal. We got it done. Just need to get these edges cleaned up and we're good to go. I got a lot of blowout, a lot of clean out. Just want to make sure everything is crystal clear before we get everything set in there. Do not want any shavings floating around. All right, so got a lot to get done. But for now, guys, that'll about us for me on this one. I would greatly appreciate if you could hit that subscribe button, tap that like, press the notification, leave a comment below and tell what you think. And for those who have already subscribed, thank you. As always, stay free. See you guys later. Peace.